What's going on YouTube? Card Boss here, back in a video where we talk cards, money, investing. I have today PSA sub-return 10 cards over here. Now of late I haven't been coming up with a lot of PSA reviews because I've been sending most of my sub cards straight direct to PWCC so I can have it to resell pretty quickly. But now I've kind of like changed the method a bit and having these cards delivered back home first before making its trip back to PWCC. So today is one of the first of many shipments that's going to come back home, so I'm pleased to share this 10 card lot. Nothing really big here, nothing really like super standout. In fact, spoiler, no PSA 10s on this one, but still quality cards, and I think that I did okay as well overall, and I think I do have some good value and a bit of upside on some of these cards. So I'm going to share with you guys. So first one up here, Chris Paul rookie card signature shot, sweet shot, right? So on card or on ball auto. This is a PSA 9, so decent one here. I bought this card for about $100, so PSA 9 would give me a bit of an upside, maybe about like $50-$60. Still decent, if you look at it from a numbers perspective, it's not like a huge return, but you calculate it on percentage wise, once you take away the fees and shipping, grading fees, you still make about like maybe 15%, which is the target that I like to do in most of my transactions lately. Moving on, got Kate Cunningham. This is the Contenders auto, right? This is not numbered, PSA 9. Just an okay card, I think. Doesn't really add that much of value it being a PSA 9, but definitely there is some people who prefer to buy a slab auto as opposed to buying a raw, right? So like I said, not gonna make a lot out of this, right? You're probably making like maybe $20-$30, which is still pretty decent. Of course, for me, I had a chance to get a PSA 10. In this case, it didn't get right there, so still alright. Another Kate, this is a Revolution. This is just a base auto, right? Sticker, not something that I really fancy, but then again, this is the same idea as the Contenders auto, whereby there are some people who rather don't mind just paying a little bit extra just to have a card slab, even though it's in a PSA 9 holder. Alright, Michael Jordan, new height. So I think if you guys check back one of my earlier videos, I talked about me going into a lot of 90s inserts, and this is just one example, right? So there is a lot of upside on this kind of inserts. Like I think this particular Jordan I purchased raw for about 180, 170, I can't remember, but in the PSA 9 slab it's probably about like $400 to $500. So nice upside for this particular one. You get a PSA 8, maybe you can sell it for about like 180. Lose a bit of money on your shipping, lose a bit of money on fees as well as grading fees, but PSA 9 is where you get good value. So upside for 90s inserts, something I like, especially good players, the Jordans, the Kobe's. This is where I'm looking at. This is another item, Shaquille O'Neal rookie card, Stadium Club Beam Team 1992. This is a tough grade most of the time. I've already sent many of these beam teams for grading, and perhaps out of, let's say, like 10, probably get like 1 to 2 PSA 9s. Don't even talk about Gem 10s, right? So PSA 8s are the common one. So you generally want to buy this as low as possible, factor in the grading fees, and expecting to come back at 8. And on this card overall, I'd probably be making about, again, another like $30 on this. Doesn't sound much, but when you talk about a cost base of roughly about, say, all in about, let's say, $200, you still make a nice 15% return. Add up all this 30 here, 20, 20, 20, you're probably making a lot of, maybe about like $200, which is pretty decent, right? Same thing as a Kate, Franz Wagner here, select auto from France is in that 2021 class, whereby there's tons and tons of autos in many sets, including this select, even though it's number 299, but I wouldn't say this is one of the more desirable rookie cards. But there are people who like to buy autos, which is a risk slab, so I got this one pretty cheap. I believe I bought this one raw for about like $55 and adding the grading fees and get a PSA 9 decent. Maybe I could sell this for $100, maybe, right? That's where I'll be looking at. Tyrese Maxey, this one was kind of like a impulse pickup, and I kind of a bit of regret on these two, right? I'm not a big fan of Maxey overall, and I didn't do my research on this stainless stainless stars auto, whereby they have nice auto, but a lot of the grays I noticed they get punished. PSA 8, PSA 7, that's what I get most of it. You very rarely get a PSA 9. This is the normal base auto, and this is the one that's out of purple, that's out of 75. And this, both of them got a PSA 8. But one thing I noticed, if you can see, it's coming out in the picture here. This blurred dust marks here, right? It wasn't there when I submitted the card. It seems like it's inside the case or on the card. I can't really tell, right? But it's quite an eyesore looking at this one. Right. Second last card, 2003 Carmelo Anthony Topps Chrome Refractor. So obviously everybody knows about the Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. Carmelo gets lost once in a while. Bought this on raw for about, I think, $100 and have this graded. I think this is an easy flip again for about $150, $160, making another like $20, $30 in a PSA 9. This actually looked pretty clean. You can tell there's actually a bit off center, so I knew from right get-go that this was not going to get a PSA 10. But I like how clean the card was, and a PSA 9, I knew the upside was there. So for me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. It's just kind of like putting the money in and just taking his time to go through the motions and then sell it later and make a nice $30 to $40 return. Finally, last card here, Michael Jordan 1996 Skybox Premium Golden Touch insert. This is the one that I bought from my local card show, okay? And it looked pretty clean. They had a bit of as any of these 90s die cards insert, right? There is of course its ages, but this is one that I looked and it looked really clean. So I did point out a little bit of white wear on the corners. Not sure you guys can pick this up, but I pointed out in my earlier video. So I'm not sure whether that corner alone kind of like punished the overall grade to get a PSA 8. PSA 9 would have been monster for this particular card. But still, I'll probably make some money out of this, even as PSA 8, something that I factored in as well, like what I mentioned for 90s inserts. If you keep your cost base low, researching based on PSA 8 prices, factoring in the cheap grading cost now, like PSA's grading fee is only $19. So it's decent grading cost. Send these things for grading, right? Get a PSA 8, break even, PSA 9, make some money. And this applies for generally most 90s inserts, good quality players, the Jordans, the Kobe's, Shaquille O'Neal's, right? These are the ones that you'll be targeting, right? All right, that's it. So quick PSA review. Got more stuff coming, of course. This one, to me, how do I rate it, right? So is it a A, B, or C? I think it's a kind of like a B plus. No PSA 10s, kind of hurt obviously, but I'll probably make a couple $100 from this particular sub, which is decent. And that's something, if you keep on doing consistently, little things just adds up in the long run. All right, that's all I got for today. Thanks guys for watching. Do like, subscribe, follow my channel for more content. Till the next one, Cowboys out.